Last Bite Productions presents the New Way podcast. The New Way contains adult content, including Hurley, Sawyer... come on, another debate about Lost? There are other TV shows out there, you know? It's like you think all TV discussions are required by law to talk about Lost. Let me guess, they play the "we have to go back" Kate clip, don't they? I bet they even put it in the intro. Bush League, man. Bush League. Listener discretion is advised.
This is Smallville. Meteor freaks, alien ships, cryptic symbols.
Who'd want to cut your penis off?
Take a number.
Carl! 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 We have to go back, Kate. We have to go back!
Everybody wants to be naked and famous. Everybody wants to be just like me. I'm naked.
Will you help teach me about this? What is it? A new way?
What up, motherfuckers?
And welcome,
Coming in hot.
and welcome to the first New Way podcast of December 2017. We have almost made it through this year. We're just holding on.
Wow.
White
knuckle.
Don't you remember at the end of 2016 when everybody was just like, fuck 2016 so much? Like, we lost Prince. We lost, there were videos and stuff like that.
I've been trying to go back to 2016 since 2011.
If only we could go back to 2016. If only.
Yeah, it's been an interesting year.
Yeah,
I looked at the photo of Matt and I on Santa Claus's lap in 2016. It was simpler times. Simpler times.
It was that was a pretty sad day in general, but just waiting in line behind the 30 special needs kids, and we're just like, nope, no, we're good. We don't need any presents or anything up there.
Well, at least we didn't cut in front of them. I was wearing the same sweater that day.
It's true. I was more impressed that the Santa literally offered for us to sit on his lap. He goes, it's okay. You can do it if you want to. And I was like, no. And Nick's like, yeah, I want to sit on your lap. And so you did.
He has since lost his job at the Wellington Mall.
He was
we'll get to that in a little bit.
I've been seeing a lot of you, Nick Sanacroce. How are you doing?
I'm not sure if I ever told
Matt Lauer me.
Nice.
Matt Lauer me.
I'm not even sure if I've told you guys this before, but we went to the Wellington Mall literally to get pictures of the girls with Santa. And so we got in early before the mall opened, and we got in line, and they were ushered up front, and then we realized that Santa wasn't supposed to open until the mall opened at 10, and it opened at 9 just for special needs kids.
That's why it was happened to us, because we went early. We did the same thing. We went there at 9 a.m.
We were in the middle of all of these special needs kids. And all of a sudden, Beth and I realized as the girls are running up there, and we're just yeah. Good job, girls.
Why do they have to open early for them?
No, I'm
Shit can go down.
What the fuck?
I mean, there can be.
Why can't they just come in whenever they want?
Can go down.
It's
when all those special needs kids show up at the mall.
We're already going to have to edit this out.
Oh my God.
I'm already getting... And we've been taken off the air.
Jesus.
Roger Ailes just called us to inform us that the New Way has been taken off of iTunes.
I think I understand exactly what you were trying to say there, but it came out pretty poorly.
I didn't mean it to be cruel. I'm just saying...
It sounded cruel.
There are special needs for the special needs. Do you want to...
They were fine. They were fine,
Well, that's the thing is
kids, they
obviously
walked to Santa.
We did not realize what was going on. This is a test. I'm gonna back up Matt here because we did not realize what was going on until we as the girls were running up and we noticed
cut
that
in front of people and stuff.
We weren't cutting in front of anybody. We were waiting in line.
And you shoved the special key.
But I still remember Beth and I being like, man, the line is really short. I'm surprised the line is so short. And
a bus.
And oh my God. You're digging your own grave here.
No,
man.
Nick dug my own grave on that one because he gave me the look that said I'm thinking of the same thing. And
I did no such thing.
Oh, you're a terrible,
I did no such
you're a
thing.
Terrible liar. Well,
anyways,
happy December to our listeners.
It's the New Way Podcast, motherfuckers.
We are super excited in December for many reasons, for whether we're celebrating Hanukkah or Christmas. And we are also mostly excited about celebrating something very close and near and dear to our hearts here. And that is a triple Xmas bootleg Christmas.
It's a bootleg triple Xmas.
It's I stand corrected by the man who created it, Nick Santacroce. Nick, tell us about the inception of your Christmas album.
Well, I was real drunk.
Okay.
And no, I guess it was like 6 years ago. I had a family friends would do a family Christmas album, but it was mostly innocuous. You know, they would just do straight up covers of songs, and some of them would be really, really, really good. You know,
sounds boring.
Actually, can we rewind this? I don't mean to interrupt, but can we rewind this back to 2004? We got contacted by a good friend, Chad Porter, who was like, "Hey, they're doing this like initiative thing or whatever, and they're trying to put together a Christmas album."
Grandson of Cole Porter.
No, this is in Panama City. It's like for the radio. So for a
great
promo,
grandson of Imperial Porter.
They were trying to get all of these local bands in Panama City and the surrounding areas to do this like Christmas album. They were going to sell it, and it ended up going nowhere. But I ended up going over by myself to Chad Porter's place and recording a Christmas song.
This motherfucker one day he goes, "Oh hey guys, check this out. Gadwell Lane's on a fucking Christmas album." I go, "No, we're not. I didn't record any fucking Christmas song."
You
and he
went
goes,
behind the
"Well,
band's
I did."
back?
Yeah. He recorded bass, drums, guitar, and sang like 4-part harmony.
You pulled a Grohl and you made Gadwell Lane by yourself.
He sang "What Fucking Child Is This?" Played every part, and we didn't know until the album came out.
Why? What child is this? Did you do like metal version or something?
Well, prog metal. It's not quite metal.
Was it whiny?
Yeah, it's pretty whiny.
Yeah, I can hear it already in my head.
But
it's like emo metal.
So then,
hey, man,
metal.
I had 4-part harmonies going on that thing, man. It was pretty awesome.
So Nick heard that and said this aggression will not stand. I'm going to make my own album.
I just thought it was interesting.
It's on the first edition,
and that's the reason why. It's because it's on the first edition. Like he just decided to include it, and then bad mouthed me about. He was like, "Not really Gadwell Lane, Ben Wilson of Gadwell Lane, or something along those lines." When he posted it,
listen,
fake Gadwell Lane.
All I'm saying is, you know, I wasn't exactly, you know, busy getting laid back in the Florida State campus or like doing anything. I would have happily have made the trip and played bass for What Child Is This?
It's just a Gadwell Lane not featuring most members of Gadwell Lane, not named
Gadwell Lane, not featuring
people whose names don't rhyme with Wen Rilson.
So anyway, there was that. There was the family friend who would do the album, and like the thing that we always listen to is when we had the. You know, everyone has the family friends that come up for Christmas, and they would always bring this album, and they would never play. We'd gloss over the actually well done, well produced, harmonized versions, and they would play the one song of the one relative, the one black sheep relative, who did a terrible version of Jingle Bells, and they labeled it Jingle Bell Trainwreck.
Oh, no, that's awful.
That was the song we listened to, you know? No one wanted to listen to the great song. They wanted to hear the most embarrassing ones, the ones where their intentions were good, but it was a terrible, hilarious
I
recording.
Feel bad for all of those people.
Oh, shut the fuck up, Matt. So in that spirit, I thought, you know, we had 2 weeks coming up to Christmas, and I didn't have high hopes for it, but I said, you know what, let's just put the feelers out. I'll put up a Facebook post. Anybody who wants to create an album with me, like a potluck style Christmas album, anything goes. You know, you can be as raunchy as you want. It can be a straight cover. It can be an original. It can be a spoof. And let's just see what I get in less than 2 weeks. And I'm not expecting much, but let's give it a shot. And I ended up getting like, I think over 20 tracks in under 2 weeks. Wow. And they were all really good. They were all really, really good. So every year I kind of try to keep it going. And this year, we took a hiatus last year because I'm not going to say whose fault it was, but we had a, you know, slightly depressing change in politics, and I got 2 submissions. So we took a hiatus, but we're looking to come back strong this year for this 6th
And what we're going to do with this episode is we're going to pepper in 2 previously released tracks
And one sneak peek from
and
one
sneak
Matthew.
peek from the new upcoming bootleg XXXMas. Did I do it in the right order?
See,
It's a bootleg XXXMas, correct?
A bootleg.
Volume
Colon.
5.
this is the first I'm hearing of this new sneak peek, and I just went from 9 to midnight.
You were at 9?
What's wrong with your dick? Why is it at 9?
He's always at half
9.
mast.
I'm always at 9.
That's my secret.
No, I assumed
I'm always at half
I
mast.
assumed it was. I mean, it was turned sideways, like you were dressing left or dressing right.
A little to the left.
A little to the right.
That's
I'm
everyone.
right. That's 9.
That's everyone.
And then to the left.
Wait, that is a kind of a thing, right? Everyone's kind of to the
Oh,
left?
yeah, everyone hangs one way or the other.
Well,
But isn't it mostly left?
not right now.
We're all sitting here, like, imagining.
It's
like,
mostly
wait,
left.
While
Like your
we,
natural leaning.
While we all think about which way we're hanging, we're going to play.
That
you
just
a
gave
little
me an
bit
idea for my
of,
first track.
We're going to play a little bit of Ben Wilson and his lovely wife Beth singing their hit "Rent a Santa."
Remember when I got this? I was like, what the fuck?
there. Oh, yeah.
Ready to hit this shit up? Every year, same time. Alright, baby. Let's take this one out. I wake up in the morning, 4:45. You know it's Black Friday and I'm feeling alive. Everybody's shopping and they're getting the loot. Gotta clean off that crusty red
Santa suit.
This was recorded in Matt Lauer's office.
Getting in line, they'll be telling me the secrets, I be telling them mine. Gonna grab my elf, and we're ready to play. It's Rent a Santa motherfucking time today. You better believe that's my fucking name.
So, for those of you out there right now, you're part of the wonder of what's happening right now is we get to actually watch Ben Wilson live react to this song. And what I can tell you is going through his head right now, his daughters. They're gonna hear this one day.
I recorded this well after they were born.
I know.
Stop talking over this brilliance.
Lining up all the kids so we can have some fun. Yo, sugar, are you open for biz? Get ready to jizz.
By far the best line.
I like that Ben knew because he mouthed it.
What you want from me?
It's a very lonely island.
I like this line.
Cause surprise,
First present just came for free.
I know what he likes. He don't discriminate, but he has a type. It's a big round ass and an innocent smile. I can tell him what's on his black and white.
For just $5, get a picture too. The whole family smiling, I'm smiling too. I just might say that today the best. Now move your ass and
Who goes next?
Jesus Christ.
As you can tell, sometimes we go to a dark place on Merry XXXmas.
every year it's my favorite time.
God. I was shocked when I got this.
I'm glad you were.
I don't know the definition of a sex crime.
It's the blue and white.
Every year it seems to happen on the best of nights.
This way I'm getting out of here.
At least I can't wait till the very next year. There's next time we gonna.
Excuse me, sir. You're gonna need to come with us.
No.
Yes.
Oh, come on, just a little bit more.
No, we're receiving complaints.
Merry Christmas. Every goddamn time.
Wow, it's amazing how
It brings
like,
out the best in
more
everyone.
uncomfortable the chorus gets each time. It gets a little darker based on what you've just heard, and you're like,
that's-
oh
yeah.
no.
I think the idea there is I was just like, I'm going to continue to up the ante until it's just so bad that there's nowhere else to go.
So we will get into the crux of our episode in just a second. We'll play you some more of those, but we have one other kind of preview. And Nick, you haven't heard entirely of this. It's something Ben and I talked about a little bit, but we're fleshing out kind of a podcast idea, and it's something I want all of us to be thinking about over the next few days to submit to one another. But I was out in Texas over Thanksgiving, and Get Out came on TV, like on like Showtime or whatever. And my
They
mom
showed Get Out in Texas?
yeah, well, no.
Good for them.
And my mom's like, "What is this?" She's
And you were like, it's a documentary.
Not a comedy.
just like Jordan Peele said.
She'd never heard of the movie. So I was like, "Oh, it'd be really interesting." When was the last time you went into a movie entirely cold? Like, you've never heard of it. You don't know anything about it. You don't know who's in it.
Did you watch it with her?
No. Because I made the mistake of telling her what it was about, and then there was a lack of interest in it. But
I would have loved to heard that story.
If I'd had time to, it was like the last day, so there's no way it was going to happen. But
I can actually remember I watched a movie on a plane cold like a couple of months ago, and it was this British film about like the making of a movie about the Battle of Dunkirk.
Huh. Interesting.
It had all these like pretty good actors in it. It had like Bill Nighy and like all. It was this British film or whatever. And the thing is they show like this little preview before before you watch the movie on the plane. And I was like, oh, this looks like a delightful movie. It was so fucking depressing. Like the entire movie was just so depressing.
Well, did you understand like my Indian Army reference that I made? I was made fun of the last time we talked about Dunkirk on the podcast.
No.
God damn it.
We didn't learn anything. Now I do remember the Indian Army. But
I got shot down. It was embarrassing.
I know. That's unfortunate.
But anyways,
but Ben didn't learn anything about it in that documentary, so it doesn't exist in this.
You got
franchise.
Dunkirked.
So what I want us to do, I want everyone to think of kind of probably come up with a list, right, of movies. And all I think we do is each of us submits to the other one a list of movies. Oh, go ahead.
Well, so here's what I was thinking. I was thinking we'd have more of a three-way, where
okay,
where it's like, and I mean this in all seriousness, like Matt does me, I do Nick does
the fuck
Matt.
are you talking about?
I get it. That,
No.
That makes sense.
So what we do is we are going to select a film.
Do you want me to pick your movie, or do you want Ben to pick your movie?
Oh,
and whose movie do you want to pick?
So what we're gonna do?
We're picking something based off of what we think the other person would pick.
No, so
but something we know. Like
no.
Right.
The fuck is this?
All right, hold on a second.
Let's re-explain this.
Let's take a step back.
You're not explaining it.
So, all right. The idea is that I want
to make a list.
The reason why I'm doing the list,
right,
is because I'm going to give you a movie and you're going to go, "Oh, I've heard of that." Let me go, okay, shit, well, that one doesn't work.
Right,
so
okay.
I'm going to come up with another. So I'm going to have a list of movies. I'm going to start spouting things out and go, have you ever heard of this movie in any way, shape, or form? And you're going to go, oh, no, I have no idea what that movie is. And I go, all right, that's your movie. I've picked this movie for you. I will download it for you or rent it or whatever it is.
Oh.
And you are not to look up anything on it. You're not to know who is in it.
Oh, watch it cold.
You are
Okay.
to know.
Watch it cold.
You're to know nothing about it.
And we do a book report.
Exactly. And
right,
you're going to
yeah.
come back, and it should be something I've seen or that.
Right.
The one who recommends should know the movie.
Which is why I think it should be like I said.
So you want to recommend for me, or do you want to recommend for
jokes
Nick?
aside? Like I would probably. How about I do Matt?
You do me.
Matt does Nick, and Nick does
Ben.
Does me.
Okay.
I think that was probably the easiest, based off of just the metrics of what I think that everyone in here
And I know,
seen.
and I know you had like talked about one, and I think you've told me about it before, but I've forgotten
Ben,
it.
have you seen Alien from LA?
Or Aliens?
No, stop. Have you seen Alien from LA?
I've never seen
I
Alien
got
from
it.
LA.
I got it. That's it. That's fucking it. Do not Google that shit.
So no,
do not Google it.
I won't Google that. But hey,
I'm
think
so
about
glad
this,
you don't know that movie.
Think about this well, because I think,
No, I'm done. That's it. That's it.
no. Well,
It's great. You're gonna love it. It's great.
we're not to this point yet, anyways. But I do like the concept.
Alien from LA. It's my selection for Ben Molson.
Don't keep saying. I don't want him to have anything in his head. I want it to be real, like.
Yes, I would
pretty
like for it
quick.
to be. I would like for it to be like cold, as in like let's maybe on the next podcast or something like that. Is when
Over the next few days or whatever, we'll decide when we announce it, and then you try to watch it as quickly as you can, so that you're not thinking about what
exactly
the title of it means.
Okay, I love it. Now that you've explained it in a logical, rational
I
way.
was trying to.
Yeah, sorry, I kept interrupting.
No,
Try harder, you must.
I think that, but I think also, by the way, this is going to be kind of interesting to do as we move forward every once in a while is to do one of these things because it gets us to watch things we haven't watched
It's a window
before.
into my goddamn soul.
I do have a question. I know yours. I think the one you were talking about is from like the 2000s.
Well, that doesn't sound right.
correct?
Oh, the one I mentioned.
A recent film?
No, the one I mentioned actually I think came out in 2000. But
You're doing something else.
I have to do something else because I'm
Okay.
not going to be able to find that film with English subtitles anywhere.
Oh, okay.
There it is. There's the other shoe that dropped.
No, this movie came out in 1900, not 2000.
No,
It's a Ben
no.
Wilson feature.
No, I had this really good idea
Okay.
because when we first started talking about it, I was like, there's this movie I know that Matt would love that I saw at a film festival, but never got American release,
Yeah.
never got anything.
Wait, is that something that we think they'll like? Do they have to like it?
No. So here's the twist, right?
Okay.
And this is why I want to make this maybe an ongoing thing every couple of months we do it. Is I want the person to recommend the movie, but you give no context. It's not I love this movie, I hate this movie. You just go, here is a movie. And that person comes in and they do their book report on it. And then you get to go, okay, well, here's what I thought of the movie when I originally saw it. And I either completely agree with your assessment or you're totally wrong
Nick is
and
in
you're
heaven.
terrible.
Love it.
He loves this idea.
Love
Now
Love
the
it.
trick is this, right? I made my list.
love it.
I made a list of like 10 movies, and they're all from the 80s. And I go, shit, I should probably do some 90s. So I like threw some 90s
Yeah,
things.
mixed it up.
And I was like, but I think that's important that we do mix up a little bit because we can all probably do stuff from the 80s.
Showgirls before?
Show what?
You haven't seen Showgirls?
kidding. Okay, I'm
That's my selection. I'm changing my name.
No, and like I said, it cannot be something you just haven't seen. But
Right,
have
no,
heard
no,
of.
no, no, it has
So
to
it
be
can't be
something
like, oh, I've never
relevant.
watched Raging Bull, and they're like, oh, Raging Bull. I'm like, but I know Raging Bull.
no,
like
no,
it's
no.
got to
No
be totally
context.
cold, no context.
I love it.
You can't know who's in it,
I love it.
who directed it, anything. So we will have that coming up.
And with you guys, that's a challenge. I mean, I honestly haven't seen or heard of a lot of movies you guys know about. So I think it's going to be
You
actually
gave me
kinda
one the
hard
other
for me.
night. I mean, you inadvertently the Emma Watson one. I'd never heard of that before. There's an Emma Watson horror movie produced by Miramax. Regression. I've never heard of this
With
movie
Ethan
before in my
Hawke.
life. No idea this movie existed.
Yeah, it
until
does,
last night.
apparently.
So there's plenty of shit that I just don't.
I don't
think
know
I
how
get.
that came up.
Can I say in advance of doing this assignment, I am not going to try and punish either of you when we do this. I will actually try and select something that is least you're going to have something, whether it's so bad that it's funny or it has some redeeming quality. I would hope and expect that you could at least.
I wish
I cannot make that
wish-
promise.
I
I
wish we
cannot
could tell
make
you
that
that,
promise.
but we
Well,
can't.
of course, you've already recommended Alien from LA.
In fact, I aggressively disagree with that method.
Fuck.
Listen, just
I'm fucked.
It should be a surprise.
do
and
not look
delight.
up Alien from LA. Just do
Stop
it.
saying it. There's no more.
He already
no more,
knows it.
No
I've
more.
given him no context.
No
at all.
more. No more.
He doesn't know if I like it or not.
Anyway, so we'll probably try to get the movies watched over the next maybe a couple of weeks, maybe get that podcast in this month, or maybe we'll do that in January. We'll see. But for tonight or today, whenever you're listening, I'm tired of the pronoun game I keep playing about what time we record this at night. On a Thursday or a Wednesday.
meant to be listened at
so
night.
if I say good night, that's when it's because it's fucking nighttime outside.
The
it's
new
dark
way is
outside.
meant to be listened to when the sun goes down.
So tonight's podcast, Ben had a good idea, although it was worded very strangely.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Tell me what
Shocker.
text you sent to me.
Well, okay. Well,
What the fuck?
you have to remember the original, because the original podcast idea, I was like, oh, well, we could watch like Monday Night Football, and we could, hang out after the podcast was over. And I
Yes.
was just like, and for some reason in my head, I was just like, oh, in the same context, we could talk about like movies or series or television shows, things that we've punted on, like things where we're just like at one point, like we're just like you know what,
football.
done.
There we go.
And I had no plan on bringing football into it, but
Punted.
The punt
It.
is.
I often say I used to watch that show, but then I punted on it, and
I don't think anybody says
I
that.
never said
and
that.
I have never said that. But
And it really rustles my jimmies when people don't know what I'm talking about when I say I punted. On
I
a
was
television
enjoying
show.
Alien from LA, and then I got
Oh,
turnover on downs.
killing me, Smalls, just killing me. So what Ben was eloquently putting in very eloquent terms was when do you choose to give up on a show and why? What
Or-
are the
or a movie,
or a movie
or a
Oh,
s- Yes.
I mean, you give up on a movie?
Yes. Well, I have a couple
I
of
have
caveats
one
in
movie
there.
ever I have given up on in
Same
theater.
here. Same here. One that I've walked out of. One.
Well, I'm not talking about like necessarily walking out of, but
It was Monkey Bone, starring Brendan Fraser.
And there's a big thing here.
Shit, I can't give you Monkey Bone.
I think.
Oh, I've heard of that shit.
Now I understand what we're saying. Like with a TV show, it's easy because it's just like we stop watching it, and that's very very easy to do.
Maybe easy for you, but not easy for someone else. Jesus. Oh,
No,
God.
sorry.
I need to get you on that one.
No,
You
it's
got him. You got him good.
it's pretty.
It's true.
But what I mean,
it's hard for me.
Sometimes when you're watching a movie and a movie just kind of jumps the shark, and you're just like, okay, this is
you
now
mentally give up.
This is now turned into something I'm just mentally giving up on. I'm no longer invested in this movie. I'm gonna sit through it. I'm gonna just
Like
bear it and just be
Independence
like,
Day 2.
Yes.
Well, I mean, we were in the
3
theater
minutes
for
into the
that
movie.
though, so we weren't gonna get up and leave. If you're at home, you can just change the channel.
I've got up and left during movies, but I wouldn't when I was with a group of people. I just sit and tough it out. Deep Impact, another one, gave up on that one pretty quick.
Well, we can get into it because I think
Deep Blue Sea, the opposite.
Oh yeah, I was
Super into
I gave
that.
up on it immediately,
Deep
and then I got
blue.
back in.
My head is like a shark fin.
Jesus. All right, so man, well, let's talk. Let's start with TV a little bit. What is your criteria for turning your back? Let's talk about it this way: how much does your sunk cost fit into it? Meaning, let's say you put in 4 seasons or 5 seasons.
right.
How much does that weigh in your decision to leave a series?
Well,
I don't think
was
there's like a criteria. I think it's different for every series, right?
And I agree because that's the thing. It's all about for me about emotional currency, like the amount of love and attention that you're going to put into a series. Because if there's something you watch passively, it's so easy to just kind of
Keep
be
watching
like, well, it's almost easier to keep watching it or just to watch it casually. And I don't have like
The OC.
But there are things I still consider like a punt. For example, I'll talk about like when we were in college. I still remember we would watch the DVDs when it was off the air. Family Guy all the time. Like everybody fucking loved Family Guy. I thought it was the funniest show on the face of the earth. And when it was finally coming back, everybody was just like, "Yeah, Family Guy's coming back. It's like the greatest thing ever," or whatever. I never loved Family Guy enough to be like, oh, I mean, I was just like, yeah, it's coming back, and I would laugh at episodes.
It's
and stuff like
always
that.
funny. You always laugh. But
Exactly. But I watched 3 episodes, and I'm just like,
You're done. I gotcha.
I'm so non-invested. I have no
Yeah,
emotional
exactly.
investment in this series. So there's no reason when it comes on. I don't care if I watch or whatever. So there's that side of the spectrum.
you know what, though, real quick, fun fact: I've never in my 34 years on this planet seen my father laugh harder or longer than at one joke on Family Guy, where he was literally struggling for air, and it was when Peter mistook baby powder for paprika, and Stewie went apeshit, and my father laughed for a solid 5
Mistook
minutes.
paprika for baby powder.
He mistook the paprika for baby powder, and he sprinkled it
paprika
on Stewie's raw.
That was the one, huh?
That was it, and it made me question everything I knew about my father and what he thought was funny, because it took a solid 5 minutes to like walk him off that hilarity cliff.
This is a. By the way, I think you just broached a wonderful podcast topic of things that our parents have liked or almost like obsessively enjoyed.
But you don't get.
And no, by the way, some of them they're like things I'm like, no, that was it's the Coop. Yes, and it was very, very funny.
Like Steely Dan. I love Steely Dan.
Into
Then you
it.
have the entire opposite of that. It's like stuff that my dad introduced me to, where he was just like, you need to listen to every word of this song or whatever. He's like, you need to listen to every word. You need to
Closer by Nine Inch Nails.
No. You just ruined something, and I'm not even going to bring it. No, I was going to say, listen, my dad
Wait,
was
he
just
just
like,
got it?
you need to listen to every single word of Roland the Headless Thompson Gunner by Warren Zevon. And I was just sitting there, and I would listen to it, and I would listen to it, and I would listen to it, and then 3 years later, I'd be like, let's listen to Roland the Headless Thompson Gunner. You'd be like, what? What's that? I mean, like, seriously, he would just be he would, like, move on, like,
Yeah.
through these different phases of, like, music. Meanwhile, I was still attached to, like, the B-52s. I was like, what, you're listening to, like, Timbuktu now?
This is
folk music?
Hold on to these. This is
Wild
a podcast.
Thing?
This is absolutely a podcast of
Yes,
how
exactly.
we
You
turned
got
out
me
the
into
way we
Warren
turned out.
Zevon.
I know. And because
I was the next link in that chain. I love
know.
Excitable Boy. It's my favorite album.
And speaking of musical tastes, let's hear a little Nick Santa Croce on the XXXMas album. This
think
is
it's a good idea.
By the way, this is an original. Only Nick and Ben did originals on theirs. I just do song parodies of things because I don't music well. But
Yes,
this is
you do.
Nick doing a song about someone maybe you've heard of. Let's listen. Also featuring Luna and Margot.
I predated the Krampus appearances on Venture
And
Brothers,
film.
and this is right before the Krampus hit, mind you.
The children play beneath the crackling fire and decorated tree. The snow is lightly falling, blanketing the streets in Germany. The smell of gingerbread and schnitzel is a nightly guarantee. Soon Santa Claus will come and shower them with gifts and Christmas glee. Some of the kids were
It's you, right?
bad this year. The beast of Christmas soon will reappear.
Krampus, the Christmas demon.
That's Santa? I don't think so. Santa looks
Cracking whips and swinging chains, the Krampus starts his dark campaign. Horned and hoofed, he stalks his prey, his hair and tongue in disarray. The naughty children can't repent, the Krampus is a malcontent. He'll steal your children, sex your wife, he'll cut you up with carving knives. You better watch out, you better not cry, it's time to kiss your ass goodbye. No Christmas cheer, no jingle bells, the Krampus drags you straight to hell. Never taking any volunteers. Drunk of power and your father's beers. Doling out his brand of punishment. The children screaming while their cries lament.
I'm watching your every move, children, and if you've been naughty, I'll enter the mortal realm, and I'll either suck the meat from your bones or crack
Produced by Sam Raimi.
burrow undying flames of hell for all of eternity. Oh, and I'll be back next year.
It's Nerd Vote, motherfucker!
That is not in the final mix.
No, that's how he ended it. It was prescient. It was a prescient tune. How dare you try to convince them that I did that just now?
Imagine if Nerd Rope was the one thing that, like, warded off the demon.
Join us.
It's Nerd Vote, motherfucker!
Oh no!
If you don't know who the Krampus is, just Google Krampus sloth, and you'll see what they do
With a K.
in Europe
With a K.
with a K.
Krampus with a K. So giving up on a TV series. So you mentioned series that you can kind of just, you're not emotionally invested in, so you just kind of keep watching. They're like the equivalent of
Well, I was saying there are three tiers because they're the ones
Yeah.
you're not emotionally invested in. I can almost pretty much just dismiss those. Then there are the ones that you're emotionally invested in that don't completely jump the shark, where you're like, I have to stick this out, but it's not the same thing as it was to me before.
yeah.
And then there are the ones that are just
Betray you.
that just betray you, and that you say, enough is enough. I have to get the fuck off of this train.
Walking Dead.
well, no, and so it's funny. So
Walking Dead.
yeah, so that's
Coral!
Get back in the house.
Carl!
that last one, I guess.
Coral.
Get back in the house,
So
Coral.
what's very funny about that is
Fuck
that
The Walking Dead.
see I never loved The Walking Dead, so The Walking Dead is one of those that I'm not emotionally invested in.
I read all the comics.
See,
Frank Darabont got connected to the pilot. They had a great pilot. They had a great first season. It was based on a
terrible second season, an amazing
terrible.
third season, and
They're
then
all
just
terrible.
sort of went
amazing.
meh.
I don't think so.
I thought third season, the first half of season 3 is great TV.
The first season is great, and then the second season you're on the farm the entire time.
The farm was terrible, just the worst.
And then they could to spice it up a little bit, but it's just gimmicks. To me, it was okay. So Robert Kirkman, the guy who did the graphic novel, is kind of a hack. And he got in when the getting was good. There was no zombie serials in comics. And he sort of just came in at the right time, at the right place. And the comic wasn't bad.
And wrote The Stand with zombies.
It wasn't bad. But it definitely was like just the only thing that served that market for the time being. And I remember reading it, really liking it.
It was like this kind of serial survival horror sort of like with zombies that was just you're right. It didn't exist
but when the comic got really good was when it was less about the zombies and more about the people.
The people, yeah.
Now see, ironically, that's where this series went wrong. Ironically, they abandoned the zombies, made it more about realistic human on human gratuitous violence, and just made it feel like torture porn.
There was
violent
a step in between, though.
It turned into like a bad Eli Roth movie.
Yeah,
But here's the thing, right? So part of why season 2 failed, and the season 3 was good, and then it just slowly tapered is the fact that so if you're doing an apocalyptic tale, eventually you kind of run out of debates and conversations to have. And
now see, I think I fundamentally disagree with good writing, with creative pushing the boundaries writers. To me, it reeks of this, right? You have a writer's room of a show that, who knows, man? There's ever been a violent, kind of hard R-rated zombie show in prime time. I didn't think that it was going to succeed. But the complete opposite happened after the first season, right? It became a ratings bonanza. It surprised everyone. And I'm thinking, only up from here, right? They don't have to stay with the comic. This is great. They could do a million different things after that first season. And the first season was good. So I really had high expectations. But what ended up happening is, what happens is most writers' rooms are writing, ironically, from the standpoint of one of the characters in The Walking Dead. It's a survival game, okay?
Sure.
It is are we going to get renewed next season? It's really hard to get a second season of a show. And with Walking Dead, after one season, all those fears, picture that. You're one of the writers. Yeah. The fear of like, am I going to have a job next season is gone. It's a ratings bonanza. You can mail it.
They also changed showrunners 3 times
True,
in the first 3 seasons.
But what good did that do? All I'm saying is, with all those crazy things happening behind the scenes that normally would kill any other show, the ratings were always going to be there no matter what they said or no matter what they did, and they got lazy. And they started getting insulting to the fans, not only the comic but the show, with gimmicks and
yet
bad
they
writing.
continue to be the number one show.
Yeah,
I say that they knew that. They knew that was the case, and they got lazy. Let's milk. Let's stay on the farm for a whole season.
But why does that?
Let's make our jobs last that much longer.
So how does that show? So what's interesting to me, right, is that first season of the show, I didn't love Walking Dead the first season.
Me either,
to be
but
honest,
it
was
encouraging.
it was uneven, right?
I liked it a lot.
I liked it, and then
It was encouraging.
But I had a lot of people that were in my friend circle that were like, "Dear Walking Dead, I'd like some zombies in my zombie show." There were a lot of fucking posts like that, right?
Zombies on the
and there were
zombie show.
Exactly. There were a lot of those people out there going like, "But why are these fucking people talking?" Right? So you've got a writer's room that's responding to that. But the thing that's fascinating to me about Walking Dead is it's starting to slow a little bit. But let's look at ratings hits on the cable front that were huge and then fell off, like True Blood, like Glee. Like there are
one of the most that has the most
like
steep precipice.
Lost, which is a tough one to talk about, but it's true. Lost it's lost a lot of its audience.
Not really. It was so
stop it. You
watched the whole thing, Law. Don't raise your hand. You watched the whole thing.
No, I didn't.
Then why do you badmouth it? You didn't even sit through the whole fucking series.
Because I stopped.
Oh, fuck you. You didn't even
He
finish
gave
it.
up. He quit cold.
I quit.
You gave up on Walking Dead. How do you know
I
it's still
quit in
bad?
season 4.
Okay, listen. Did Lost bring Chris Hardwick back from the dead? No. Because of Walking Dead, now, no matter what show we like on AMC, we have to listen to Chris Hardwick fucking talk about it for half an hour after every episode.
I like Chris Hardwick better than the shows that, he's recapping.
God damn it. Talking bad. Let's have Chris Hardwick tell you why Breaking Bad is a masterpiece. No thanks. I'm good.
Go.
That is,
you were
a,
going
good,
to talk about
that is a
Lost.
good theme song. Play that again. Honestly, that is a great theme song.
I don't want to talk about Lost because all,
I don't either.
What's going to happen is Nick is just going to sit here and yell at
I will.
me for a while.
I will.
But any rational, like normal
stop
TV
it.
watching audience that could understand that they had no fucking idea where they were going with that show, and then just kept running in fucking circles.
When did you give up?
It is as much or more arbitrary than Walking Dead is right now.
When did
Give
you
me the Lost Writers Room over the Walking Dead Writers Room any day of the fucking week and twice on Sunday.
And that I will agree with you on. That I will 100% agree with you on, because I think it was the
well, you're gonna badmouth the writers, then you're gonna pick them over.
The characters are written better.
Yes.
It has a more intriguing overall plot. It's
Yes.
something. It was a more by definition
Wholly original.
By the definition
Wholly original.
of its location of what was happening in the series, it automatically has a leg up on all of those fronts. But yet it's guilty of the exact same sins when it comes to writing. It was literally a bunch of writers coming up with like, well, this is a great idea, so let's inject this and let's inject this, because they had no idea, no concept of where they were going.
We've had the Lost. I'm more curious about
As much as I hate to admit it, Matt, you know, while I will defend Lost to my dying breath, it does really. I can understand how it fits in perfectly with this topic, because while I disagree with the people who don't like Lost and give it a hard time, it is kind of the Merriam-Webster's definition of some people just giving up on a show.
Well, no, and that's my curiosity. Is so what was the point? What was your impetus for giving up on Lost, or when did you turn the corner?
Here, the ironic part about Lost for me is I know a lot of Lost fans really disliked the second season, and I really liked the second season. I'm not sure why.
Me too.
The first half of the
weird
second
Twilight Zone
season is
episode?
great. No,
I love that Twilight Zone episode.
Well, so I really enjoyed that season just because I really liked digging into the characters so much and getting all of that backstory. And I didn't mind the fact that they weren't on the island as much.
That's Stranger Things second season. More happened plot wise, but the second season is meant to, once you have a hit, let's explore the characters.
Right.
And that was the right move.
And so I understand that a lot of people were just like, nothing's really happening. And I feel like that was kind of that big criticism of we're not really learning anything more about the current circumstances.
They're on the farm.
But so where did you?
Well, so basically, season 3, I got through very slowly on Netflix, as opposed to season 1. Like season 1, I watched in real time. Season 2, I waited right until the DVDs came out and I binged it. I literally watched season 2 in 3 days, every single episode, and that's 24. I was up all night, like 1 or 2 nights in a row, and I watched every single episode. And when I got to season 3, I was just like. And it just kind of fell apart for me, but I was trying to stick with it, and then I watched like the first 3 or 4 episodes of season 4, and I just said,
"That's such a hard."
I just can't do it anymore. I just said I can't do it anymore.
That's
I
why
can't do it.
And I get that, and it sucks because there is a payoff. So that's the season that turned.
So here's the thing, everyone
One
says
of the greatest turns in a series.
But it
was
takes-
so
yes,
great.
because we have to go back to the island.
No. The Desmond, the Constant episode is one of my favorite episodes of television ever.
But it
turned
doesn't
a
hit-
series that was totally
But
unconventional
that doesn't hit
on
till,
its head.
That doesn't hit till 4.
That's what I'm talking about.
But the problem with Lost,
you didn't stick it out to the next great turn.
What if The Walking Dead has a great turn now? Whether you believe it will or not, will you ever go back?
Spoiler alert: it won't.
Okay, but if someone
But you're not going to
ever go
give that
back.
time of day,
Right.
even if it did.
So
No, because
Ben,
fuck those guys.
You
and fuck that show.
can't look at that objectively, dude. You can't look at that objectively.
Okay, have you guys watched the Negan scene? Did you watch it?
Yes.
Yeah, I still watch the show.
It's fucking bullshit.
I still watch the show. I have no problem with the Negan scene. I like it.
You like?
I do like the Negan
actively
scene.
like
I
the Negan scene.
actively like the Negan scene.
It's so fucking it's so
I
it's so
don't wanna-
transparent
hold
what that scene was.
Hold on.
It was
I
the-
wanna-
Nick, Jesus Christ. Slow down here.
I want to.
You've been screaming for the past 10 minutes.
I don't want to. We can have a Lost debate, all right, about Lost. I'm much more interested. So when Ben gave up on Lost is when I was ready to give up on Lost, right? I think Lost redeemed itself for a while, for a pretty good long while, and I think it kind of petered again. But that's more what this, for me, where the interest of the conversation is what is it about the show that you say, no matter what, I'm not going back to this. I don't feel that what happened was good enough before that anything can redeem where we're at right now.
So and what I was saying about Lost is it was so easy to tell at that point. It was really through season 3, and then I was thinking maybe they'll come up with some game plan or something like that, and I can figure out some sort of like where they're going to go. Where they're going to
hit a
with it.
writer's strike, which needs to be taken
exactly.
into account.
And listen, that does have to be taken into account. That's a huge deal.
I was on the ABC lot when that happened.
That's a huge deal. But
crazy.
When it became inherent to, like I just understood the fact that they have no idea where they're going with this show. They have no idea what they're going with this show. And it fundamentally just undermined everything I believe needs to be in a show that's high concept. I think you have to have an end game.
Walking Dead didn't have an end game.
No, it 100% doesn't.
That's the whole
By the way,
point.
he's not defending.
No. I'm
I'm honestly not defending Walking Dead either. I don't think it's a great show, but I'm saying that.
But to get off Lost,
They want Walking Dead to go on for like 30 years or
they
some
do.
stupid shit.
And it will, because we'll get the ratings. But Matt, what I want to know is this: for me, spoiler alert, anyone who walks, listen, if you love The Walking Dead, you've probably given up on this episode. But for me, it was the Glenn psych out.
It was a terrible piece of writing.
After that happened, I was like, you know what? And the funny thing was, at the time, my roommate and I, Kelly, loved Walking Dead more than I did. And she was invested, and we lived together. So when it came on, it was like, well, I could sit in my room and, be by myself, or I could sit with my roommate and watch shows she likes that I've been watching for 4 seasons, right? So I'd already kind of like lost heart with The Walking Dead. But the Glenn psych out, when we thought for sure he was gonna die, and he avoided getting killed.
Did die.
Well, he did a bit.
But they did a bad fit.
Only to be gratuitously killed. He's in a pile of zombies.
shows.
He's in a pile of zombies. He should have died, and he didn't.
Into it.
And that was it. That was it for me. But what I want to know is this, Matt, where I had a exact moment where I was like, yeah, okay, every week I'll watch it. I won't love it, but I'll watch it because I'm watching with my roommate, right? And even if I don't like it, I'm gonna watch it, right? Because I've invested this much time into a show, I'm gonna watch it anyway, right? I had a moment where I'm like, no, fuck this, I'm out. With no question about it. This is the moment where I'm not gonna watch it anymore, right? I had that moment. You haven't. You don't talk well about The Walking Dead, but you still watch it every week. So what is it about the show, in your point, that keeps you watching?
That's kind of the thing, right? So it's one of the shows that I occasionally like things that happen in it. I can kind of turn my mind off and sit on my phone and go on Facebook, and I don't have to fucking pay attention too much to it. And there's occasionally something interesting. I like the water cooler aspect of it. I like sitting and seeing how people are reacting to it. And that's the thing. I never had a big interest in it. Now, Lost, on the other hand,
so it's interesting. It's just in that first category for you. It's something you would never had a huge interest in.
And you
never had the level.
I had one season. I thought the first sprint of season 3 was.
That's what I agree with. Because it was great.
I'll tell you why it worked for me. It worked for the same reason that the last half of the last 4 episodes of season 3 of Lost and the beginning of season 4 worked, is they were following some of the lowest expectations I've had in the series. And Lost, by the way, I could have very much gone the Ben way, except I would have gone earlier. I was ready to give up after Nikki and Paolo. I said, I'm fucking over this. I loved the backtail of the plane. I loved Rose and Bernard. I loved Adewale, Mr. Echo, I thought was great, except all those people kept getting DUIs and written off the show, which is really fucking shitty for your cast. But I was so on board with that, and it got so bad in season 3 was where I stopped watching live. And that was a big deal for me. I watched Lost was live television. I don't DVR Lost.
It was event
I don't
television.
go out on Wednesday nights. I stay at home. I have people over to the house, and I fucking watch Lost.
You watch The Apprentice and then Lost.
And I got
used to watch The
I got to
Apprentice.
season 3. I got to season 3,
That's
and I
your
said,
fault,
I
brother.
just
I
don't.
know.
I'm so unhappy. And I got to say with Ben, I go, there's no game plan. And yes, they're writing nice character dramas some of the time. And sometimes they're writing Jack and Bai Ling in the Tattoo episode, or Nikki and Paolo that was a test.
Oh god, that episode was so
just a fucking
bad.
just test of
my
nonsense,
God.
right? So again, we don't have to. I don't want to talk only about Lost and those stuff. But yeah, there were times I could have given up on it, but I liked it so much to begin with. I couldn't turn my back. And now I will tell you a show. So here's the other side of it, right? So I'm different than you guys, very much so. I have a lot of just shitty TV that I not only tolerate, but I come back to it. I don't, and now with DVR, I let episodes pile up.
Back to it?
I let episodes pile up when I should be watching something good like The Americans, which, by the way, have you ever given up on a show that's really fucking good just because you can't focus enough to enjoy it for what it is?
Bloodline.
Americans was
I came back to it, though.
I love The Americans.
I watched the entire first season of The Americans and haven't watched any since.
It is, and I keep hearing it's phenomenal television, and I keep watching it, and I keep going, I should enjoy this more. I just don't. And maybe I'm just dumb. I may just not be a great TV viewer, but I stopped on The Americans.
Yep.
I watched The Walking Dead, which is not well written, but I don't watch The Americans.
You know the one episode that like almost looped me back into The Walking Dead, where I was like on my way out, and then it was the Grove. It was called, and it was the episode where the young blonde girl, I forgot her name,
Andrea,
or they're like, look at the flowers. Remember that?
Oh, with Carol and the little girls.
Right.
Man.
So
I didn't like that episode.
I thought that was a great episode, but like the point was, this girl was about to turn, and they knew they had to kill her. It was a young girl, it was really like emotionally wrenched.
The girl was turning into a murderer. She killed her. She killed a girl she was turning into a little psychopath.
That's right.
And she decided to murder, and which is heady material.
My apologies, and that's why I liked it. I didn't remember it, but that's why I liked it. And she realized that she has to kill this little girl, and it's fucked up. And I thought, oh, they're exploring the medium a little better. They're getting a little riskier. I like it. But the whole thing was a metaphor to the fans. It's like they're sort of like saying, they're like, look at the flowers, just look at the flowers. Meanwhile, they're shooting you in the back of the fucking head.
I don't know. Like I said, there's for
look
me
at the flowers.
I'll be honest.
Negan and violence and
I like Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I like seeing him choose scenery. I enjoy watching the Negan character. By the way, it's the only reason I'm watching now. The season's been, as far as unwatchable seasons go, and the worst part is Negan's been in like fucking an episode and a half. Ugh. And I want to see more. I don't care. I like watching that guy do monologues. It's entertaining.
I'm
going to
wait until Flashpoint, where he's alternate universe Batman. That's what I'm waiting for. I won't see Justice League, but I'll see Flashpoint. Maybe.
Benny, you got something?
Well, I had something. We're well past it now. But here's the thing I was going to say.
God.
Is that now that we're... So let me talk about something I really loved. Like, right. that I gave up on in that middle realm, where I'm just like, I'm still so emotionally involved that I have to watch it to the end, even though I know it's jumped the shark.
Ken Burns' baseball.
I bet you'll know exactly what
How I Met Your Mother?
How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
Because How I Met Your Mother, I think
loved How I Met Your Mother.
No, How I Met Your Mother was what is.
You got me into it.
The first 4 or 3.5 seasons of How I Met Your Mother, I think, are some of the best sitcom, like 90s, 2000s. To
the best CBS sitcom has ever put it out.
That's a low bar right there. But no, it really is, because that's a show when it first came on that just spoke to me even though those characters were a little bit older than me at that time. I was just like, Jesus Christ, this is us. Yeah. Like, this is the way that we live. And it was This Is Us. It was This Is Us for us when we were 23 years old. And I absolutely adored all of those characters, and I loved them, and I loved growing up with them over those first few seasons. but there was just a moment. I think it was in season 4, and I think it had to do with Stella, other Becky, as you might call her.
Oh, what's her name from Scrubs?
Yeah, from Scrubs.
Yeah.
I was saying other Becky for but the introduction of that character, along with a bunch of other stuff that was happening, it was just like from then on, it ceased being a show where I had to tune in when it was on every day to watch live, because it was this just. It was a series.
You feel it gets lazy.
I'm saying that we're talking about a sitcom. Like it was a comedy, but that show was tackling like fucking everything that people my age and my friends were going through at that time. Fucking like marriage and divorce and like
about
in
such
such a great way.
About 3 seasons in, I loved it. I realized I was Ted Mosby, and that's when I tuned out.
Exactly.
That startling realization is actually what made me stop watching that
Did
show.
Ben tell you about when I gave up on that show?
No.
6 episodes in on a plane. I'm flying back from Chicago. Ben has talked about this show. I watched the first 3 on the way to Chicago, and I go, "Oh my god, I fucking love this."
Yeah.
And I get to the first Robin. Shutdown.
The blue French horn?
The blue French horn, which is like episode 6 or whatever.
Brutal.
And I go, nope. and Ben
Hard
goes,
nope.
what? And I was in fucking tears on a flight back from Chicago. And he goes, you didn't like it? I go, oh, no, I loved it. I just can't, I can't do that. I can't ever, I go, is she still a big part of the show? He's like, yeah, I can't do it.
I went through a
watch it.
huge Kobe phase.
I don't even
man.
like her that much. I feel so much for Ted in that moment that I couldn't do it.
But Ted is a dickhole.
So at the end of the second season, the last episode, Kobe Smulders. Inside jokes are fun for everybody.
Wow.
But there really is this great scene where Ted Mosby and Robin Zabartsky decide to break up.
Robin Sparkles.
And there is this. So it is the most heartbreaking scene in sitcom television I've ever seen. I've seen. Then I think there are lots of great ones.
Other than MASH.
Other than, of course,
which is a good comparison.
Yes, exactly.
Chopper.
Terrible.
It was a monster mash.
Terrible comparison. But no, there was a scene, and that's the thing that endeared me to the show. Is there's a scene at the end of the second season where it's this mutual breakup, and they realize it's never going to work for each other. And
it was
coldly
civil.
And it goes back to the French horn, and she says, "You stole a blue French horn for me," and he goes, "I would steal you an entire orchestra." And while they're breaking up, and it's this like, and for some reason it's such a corny line, and the performances just work so well, and I was just like, God, this is fucking like it was just real life to me at the time. And so, anyways, I love that show. And then somewhere halfway through the 4th season,
it became a show.
It ran out of steam. It became a show that was never terrible. It wasn't awful. It just relied off of the characterizations that had been built, and it had a couple of great episodes sprinkled here and there, but became something that was so formulaic. And I just had to watch every episode because I was so invested in the characters.
And the sitcom is different than an
I
hour
work
long.
those writers.
Like sitcom different from hour long, but also we're talking network versus cable, which is a huge issue. Part of the Lost issue is that if Lost had been 12 episode seasons, that show would have succeeded.
Please.
No, I'm just saying.
For
right?
context.
For context, I think that we're talking about a lot of network shows back in the day. So here's the one I gave up on. The series I watched more episodes of than any other show and gave up on.
This is Smallville.
Smallville on the CW.
Who was it you for Buffy the Vampire
No,
Slayer?
it was me as well. I put that on here.
I've never seen Buffy.
I'm telling you, best football season ever.
Great.
If we can focus, keep discipline, and not have quite as many mysterious deaths, Sunnydale is gonna rule.
It's my favorite Whedon writing of just a job.
Sunnydale High School football rules.
Just basically walking through and be like, we could do it this year if we don't have so many unexplainable deaths. And so Buffy's a great example. It's the same exact thing I did with Smallville. Smallville was good for 6 episodes, 7 episodes a season. that were fucking great, mainly due to Michael
You
Rosenbaum.
need to watch The Flash.
Michael Rosen, but The Flash is 24 episodes, and that's my problem.
Love The
I
Flash.
can't.
Well, so-
I can't go back to 24 episode television because I can't sit.
Exactly.
You
and
watch the
wait
fucking
through-
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead is 12 episodes a season. It's
I'm just
cable
saying,
model.
I'm just saying, if you watch that, you should be able to watch good
No,
television.
no.
So here's one of the, and that's the same
Variety
problem.
is the spice
That's
of
the same
life.
problem. That's the same problem. Buffy had the same problem as Lost because Buffy, they had to do the Monster of the Week episodes, sort of like
Yep.
the X-Files episodes did. Same thing, X-Files. One of the greatest series of all times until season 6, and then all of a sudden it's one of the most awful.
Procedural
Or when
versus
they brought it
episodic.
back. The first three
yeah,
were
yeah.
good, and then I'll tell
I
you.
actually like the bring a lot of the episodes of the
Some of them.
They're short. It's
Yeah,
for
exactly.
me.
It's
For me,
short.
it's about digestible amounts.
You
I
want
think
little
that old,
bite-sized pizzas.
No, old 24 episode television. 24 episode television is like saying every book needs to be 1,000 pages. There are great books that are not 1,000 pages that tell the story that's meant to be told over the amount of pages that it needs to be happen over.
What if I packaged the first season of The Flash and said, "Oh, hey, I have 2 seasons of The Flash you should watch." What's the fucking difference? You'd think that it was 2 seasons, and really it was 1 because there's a number of episodes. What is your mental
I guarantee
block?
I'm gonna know because I'm gonna know immediately. Do you know what happens in the middle of a season?
He
It's
said,
20
that is
he's
the
fine.
that is the dumbest fucking argument I've ever
he's
heard.
fine with a 12-episode season, but once you get into 24, I
because
can't
the
do it.
story is
That's like saying
stretched.
I'm going to give you a DVD of 6 seasons, and it's the same
Nick,
amount of
Nick,
episodes as 2 seasons.
Nick, all
that
right,
you
Nick.
all
Do you
know.
think Game of Thrones season 1, if it was 24 episodes, but it was still the same plot that fit into it, that was just that one book, it would have been as good? No. They tell the story in a small amount of time to focus it. That's why I don't know. I guarantee I'll tell you, boy, Flash is fucking going off on these episodes that mean nothing to me.
But they
don't have.
But they do a good job. They care. It's a well-written
It
show.
doesn't matter if they care. There's still going to be there's fill. No matter what, with 24 episodes, there's filler. Not every episode's going to be great.
Okay,
you
look.
tell me every episode of the fucking Flash in 24 episodes is
It's
great.
really fun. It's
It
really
doesn't
good.
happen.
It's
It
really
doesn't
good.
happen. Not every episode of any show is great for every single one.
Well, for you to make those arbitrary guidelines, like, well, I'm not going to give a show that has 24 episodes in the season a chance.
What are you talking about? That was the
I've given
the template
it's
for
my
every.
it's my entire life up until 2005.
Okay.
It's every show I've ever watched.
Here's one thing I want to make sure I get in
Can we
before we
talk-
go off the rails. All right.
Can we talk about a couple of
The
shows
king
that
of-
other people all
Yeah, so
hate?
that's what I'm getting into, and I don't hate.
24.
No, I never watched it.
I didn't give up until they rebooted it this year, but I watched every episode and the movies of 24.
For me, like as much as I loved the O.J. Simpson story, and as much as I've loved things that Ryan Murphy has done, Ryan Murphy is the king of tune-out television when it comes to American Horror Story. I've watched the first 3 episodes of every season of American Horror Story, and never finished the season.
No, so you're that's a really good one for me as well because I watched them for John Arthur because John Arthur was writing a spec script, so I watched it to feel. So I don't know. So season 1, I made it through 11 of 12 episodes. So here's where you're right that just because it's 12 episodes
You were
doesn't
so
make it
close.
good.
You were so
I made it
close.
through 11 episodes because that was where his episode took place, and I never watched the finale. and then season 2, same thing. Season 3, I didn't watch.
Yeah.
Season 4, I didn't watch. Finally, the Freak Show, the Carnival one, and I'm a big Carnival
That's
fan.
the most that I watched.
So I made it all. I made it through every episode
I did not.
of the season. I made it all the way in, and let me tell you, it was not worth it. I finally finished it.
I don't really understand the fascination.
I
with the
understand it. It's just not great.
It-
O.J. Simpson
every
way
season.
better. People versus O.J. Simpson much better.
No, don't even in the same breath. That was honestly
Glee is
a
better
masterpiece.
than Glee
That
is better
season was-
than American Horror Story.
American Horror Story. You know, you tune in for the. The thing is, you're better served to go to Universal's Halloween Horror Nights because you like the new theme. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
The concept, like, oh, I want to watch Hotel. Oh, Coven. And you watch 4 episodes, and invariably, it always runs out of steam.
See, that's
Every
what he.
year.
So what he needs to go full Brit. 6 episode seasons.
There you go.
6 episode seasons of American Horror Story.
He's got to Sherlock that shit.
I bet I can get into that.
Sherlock would be a 3-episode season.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, Sherlock is it hits right. No, I think absolutely. I think that's why I kind of like Stranger Things does whatever episode count they think fills. Now, everyone hated the fucking tangent episode of Stranger Things in season 2, which I actually had no problems with at all. But everyone is universally bitching about the leaving of Hawkins for one episode.
Oh,
yeah,
right,
everyone
right.
hates it.
No, I love that episode.
It was the bonus episode.
And it's about
that was the Twilight Zone Lost episode.
You described it as that.
It was the Warriors. It was the Warriors.
Come out and
it's
play.
It's not a bonus episode. They just said we want to do 9 episodes. Our show, season 1 was 8 episodes. This story is 9 episodes.
It was an episode that took place outside of everything.
Correct.
You don't like the Lost Twilight Zone episode, but you like that Stranger Things episode? It's the same thing.
I didn't think it was Twilight Zone, but it was...
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, it built a world around it. Hey, how important do you think that girl's going to be versus Nikki and Paolo to the end of Lost? Let me tell you, not very fucking important. They're laying buried under the ground with a fucking weird tarantula venom in them. But
how dare you?
Tarantula
whatever the fuck it is. I don't even remember.
I love that episode.
It's the word. It is so...
You love every Lost episode.
No, it's one episode.
By the way,
even the fans were like, "What is this?"
I'm a Lost apologist, but I was so close to leaving the show, and it was their
to understand
before there were mid-season
why.
finales. It was their mid-season finale, and I went, "You gotta fucking be kidding me!"
Was it mid-season?
It was. I was like, "You gotta fucking be kidding me, man!"
So quick to cast shame on everybody else for liking things or not liking things.
I don't do that.
Yes, you do that quite often.
For what?
Yes, you do that.
Yes,
I stick up for Lost, and that's
you
it.
do that.
I will fight for Lost in my dying breath, but I don't get on people.
Back, Kate. We have to go back.
We have to go back. Well, hold it. Now you told me to pull something, by the way, because I'm going to play it before we get out of this. And yeah, exactly.
It doesn't fit though.
Nick, well, no, it's gonna. But here's.
No, you played it.
Hold on, but here's the new version.
Sticky fingers.
In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by 2 separate yet equally important groups.
It's Nerd Rope, motherfucker.
Any more treats?
These are their stories.
I think neatly sums up our entire episode.
This is definitely Special Victims Unit.
Well, and so what's interesting is you look at something like Law and Order, which is a procedural that peppers things in, but they've run for 20 seasons.
But the reason why Law and Order is because you can tune into any Law and Order episode.
And here's the other reason why Law and Order works.
Fucking Maloney and Mariska.
But he has not been on the show for a decade.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Is it
She's Mariska Hargitay.
Hargitay.
Now, here's why Law and Order, especially SVU, will always be on, because this is actual dialogue from an episode.
Who'd want to cut your penis off?
Take a number.
That is why Law and Order should run for another 20 years. I can't tell you how hard I laughed pulling that clip today, and I just kept playing it over and over again. And even the visual, the guy that says it is just this smarmy guy, and he just looks at it, he's like, take a number.
You know who I'm picturing that role?
Matt Lauer?
No. Who was a Scientologist and My Name is Earl?
Jason Lee.
No, the other one.
Oh, Ethan Suplee.
The other one.
There's another one? How many Scientologists are in My Name is Earl?
The mousy guy, the mousy dude.
I have no idea.
Oh,
all right,
no.
so we've abused our audience enough, and we're going to abuse you even more right now, and you're going to have to listen to the final track. This is an unreleased preview of the A Bootleg XXXMas album.
Volume 5 this year.
Volume 5 coming out
this
on
year.
December 25th, 2017. And this is by yours truly singing a title called Stranger Things.
Ah.
Oh, this hurts.
Have you heard this? I'm the last to learn about it.
Yeah. You'll know why.
Waffles, Demogorgons, turn our frowns upside down. And for 9 hours we don't feel so shitty. We are binging, no more cringing at the Cheeto skinned clown. And on set you here. Stranger things. Stranger things. It's Netflix time in my PJs. Remembering happy things. Forgetting election day.
Oh, the premise.
Joyce's word lights, Steve's hair delights, clears our minds of despair as that moron makes rich people richer.
Social commentary.
But there's Hopper, badass
That's Copper.
He will help things seem fair and drown out all the things that we fear.
Everybody!
Stranger things.
Stranger things.
Stranger things.
Stranger things.
Nostalgic themes from our childhood. Ghostbusting.
Ghostbusting.
Stephen King.
Stephen King.
Soon they will reference Star Wars. It's time for a change of key. Stranger things. Stranger things. Who cares about North Korea?
They tested a new warhead.
Forgetting all bad things. Soon it will be season 3. Soon it will be season 3.
If you guys can just do the chorus, we can save this thing. 100%.
Bravo, Matthew. Bravo.
So that was
Bravo.
my social commentary on it. But listen, there are no bad tracks on any of the existing 4 volumes of a bootleg XXX Christmas. And there are some gems in there. There's which some of you guys have actually heard. If you listen to our Double Secret Probation episode, we played God Bless You, J.J. Abrams, and our Happy Little Family. What was the name of your song? God bless her. It's something about your family, or whatever it was.
It's a classic.
So yeah, I look. We will promote the fuck out of this album.
I prefer Little Drummer Boy by Doug Message.
Now I'll be honest.
Or Christmas Hog by Thomas Kercheval.
Oh yes, Christmas
No,
Hog.
But here's the thing,
Ben's
though.
lying. He gave up on this in Volume 3 about two song titles in. And said no, it's not enough Gadwell Lane.
Here's the thing, everybody. This compilation accepts sketches with sound effects, spoken verse, spoofs, straight covers, anything
Full
that is
frontal nudity. Greg
listen,
Klein.
anything is in bounds, anything audio, and we're looking for submissions. So if you're a listener and you have an idea,
Just like Matt Lauer's office.
stop it.
Nothing's off limits, and we're looking for submission.
Just
Welcome
step
to
into
NBC.
step into my office. I'm gonna hit the button underneath my desk, and I'm not gonna let you leave until you submit a track.
We welcome submissions.
But you
That's
can
funny.
you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ oh shit, I didn't
I'm not
check that.
sure.
I think it's
/ oh shit XXX.
I think it is
For Merry
bootleg.
Triple Xmas.
well, I mean, I will get a notification at like 2:30 in the morning from India saying
No,
some
no,
guy
no.
has followed a triple Xmas, and
well-
clearly I know what he was searching for, and he ended up on my page.
I will tell you that how I found you today when I was going for things is I Googled Triple Xmas bootleg, and then of the things that showed up, Facebook was one of the top results. And on your Facebook, you talk about the Tumblr. You go to the Tumblr takes you to Dropbox. You can download all of the albums that exist out there. They're fucking funny as hell and good music. So I highly recommend. We will promote this throughout the month. But we are in the midst of December. We are going to go out this season.
Ooh.
With wow, with a bang, and we're gonna make it the best end of year special. We've been on air now with you guys since April, with Nick Santa Croce filling a much needed role on the love seat in the studios, and we have some surprises that Nick and Ben don't know.
I heard about these.
Well, you always just want
more treats.
Yeah, there are going to be a lot of treats, and we've got some good stuff coming up. So please keep listening throughout the month, and we will talk to you next time.
Can I pimp the website real quick? I found it.
Oh,
no, you have to earn that plug. Go over there and earn it.
Listen. Anybody who wants to check out all the past, stop it. The previous releases of A Bootleg XXXMas, go to http://bootleg XXXMas.tumblr.com. Thank you.
All
right, you
Cheers.
got it. So Greg, just text Nick, David, text me, and we'll send you over there. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you next time. Peace.